Today on the channel, the latest cool toy that we're going to take a look at is Zookeeper. This is the quarter scale arcade from Numskull. I've been collecting these things since this entire line existed. Their first iteration was Pac-Man, then they followed up with Ms. Pac-Man and other classics. I've got almost every single one of these quarter scale arcades. I love them to death. I think Numskull does an amazing job on these. Zookeeper right here, as you can see, 1982. A lot of people will call it a 1983 release, and I don't really care. You can split hairs either way. It is a fun game if you've never played it. It's kind of a puzzler, kind of a platformer. It's mixing multiple genres together, but it is a super fun game. This came out in a slew of releases that Numskull did with other Taito games. They had, Bubble Bobble, and they had Kicks, and Elevator Action, and they did an amazing job on all those. But this one, I mean, I've always loved the artwork here. You got the lion, the rhinos. As you can see, it has that standard Taito generic cabinet, but they actually gave this one side artwork back in the day, which was nice because a lot of those Taito games just had different colored generic artwork, and then had the Taito logo on the side. But this, not the case. It's got the full artwork treatment, which is nice. Numskull did an awesome job recreating this artwork faithfully, shrinking it down to the quarter scale. We even got the little details like the indentation here on the cabinet, the cabinet riser itself, made of all actual real wood. Numskull does an amazing job on just doing the best they can to faithfully recreate all these products. You got a polycarbonate control panel overlay, so the graphics aren't going to wear off or anything like that. Very nice and sturdy. You have an 8-way joystick here that uses micro switches, which we'll get to that later, but it does cause somewhat of a hiccup in gameplay, but it's not the end of the world. LCD monitor, of course, because they don't make little CRT monitors, and you really honestly wouldn't want that. This thing would weigh even more than it already does. But these things are incredibly well built. You got your ambidextrous control panel buttons here, player 1, player 2, illuminated coin buttons for adding credits. On the back, you got your faux handles for dollying this thing around the arcade. You can see this was Numskull Quarter Arcade number 15 in the series, released to date. Vent here. Then we got our volume wheel, our USB-C power charging inlet, and then our toggle on and off switch, LED battery indicator, letting you know when it's on and off. And inside the box, you're just gonna get your standard run-of-the-mill stuff. Very long USB-A to USB-C charging cable, a instruction manual, and a warranty card. Join the club. This is advertising the Facebook fan page, which I highly recommend you check out. That's the first place that Numskull communicates any new product offerings, details about future offerings. They do some, customer Q&A type of things, like letting you know what they're thinking about maybe producing, and they do some, kind of gauging of interest in future product developments. And they also do some discounts. Earlier this year, they did a 50% off Quarter Arcade for 2 days for all the loyal fan club members. So if you weren't in the fan club, but you didn't know, these things were selling for 50% off for 2 days for fan club members. So definitely check it out. We got the illuminated kind of above the control panel, below the LCD spot, similar to Elevator Action, which is a really cool feature and detail. And of course, the marquee lights up. No washed out light bleeding or anything like that. Everything is enclosed and encapsulated. Dual stereo speakers, which is great. We got the CRT kind of beveled lens effect going on there, so it kind of curves the look of it, makes it look a little rounded, kind of similar to a CRT monitor that you would have seen back in the day. And of course, it has all the arcade features that you would love and want. It saves your high scores even after power off, so you don't have to worry about it losing anything memory-wise. But playability on this thing is great. You can play it, however, you will run into a couple of headaches and hurdles. Mainly based around the joystick. So the joystick itself is an 8-way joystick that uses micro switches. The original Zookeeper arcade used leaf switches. And if you're not familiar with that, basically leaf blades. But what it boils down to is the micro switches on this don't pick up diagonal movements quite as well as a leaf switch would. So you'll run into instances where you're trying to use a diagonal motion and it maybe just doesn't register. So Zeke on screen will stop for a second, then you'll have to kind of like toggle, wiggle it. and get them moving, then it'll register it and you'll be good to go. Doesn't make this unplayable, but it just is something to call out and note because it is not 100% arcade accurate because of that, because it's using micro switches. And they're like, well, why wouldn't you use leaf switches? Well, it's because this is a tiny arcade. They had to scale everything down. There's no scaled down leaf switches out there. They would have to make their own, and even doing so, there's no real good way to do that if you understand how leaf switches and contacts work. It's not something that's going to scale down very well or at all, honestly. So just keep that in mind if you're interested in this. It is playable, but it is going to give you a little bit of frustration here and there, depending on how familiar you are with this game and how good of a player you are. Concept, basically, you're Zeke, the zookeeper. You're running around trying to trap and ensnare all the animals inside the cage and keep them in there before they bust loose. There's also platforming levels and bonus levels and everything, which is great. Really adds to the depth of the gameplay. But yeah, Zeke, he was a zookeeper. When he got bored of being a zookeeper, he went off and started climbing mountain peaks, and he was also in the Ice Cold Beer-esque game Zeke's Peak, which is one of my absolute favorite addicting games to play. Definitely check it out if you're not familiar. And key detail on this, his girlfriend up there in the top of the screen you might see, guess what her name is? Zelda. Yes, that's right. This predates The Legend of Zelda. His girlfriend Zelda there, obviously modeled after a different character entirely, but I think it's a nice neat feature that his girlfriend was named Zelda, and then a couple years later we have this massive hit, The Legend of Zelda, come out years later from Nintendo. Obviously, this thing is aesthetically gorgeous. It plays pretty well. Like I said, not perfect, but definitely not a deal breaker in my eyes. I still had lots of fun playing this. If you're interested in picking one of these up, I'll put product links down in the video description box below, but I think this is an absolute must-have for the quarter scale collectors out there. And guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions of Zookeeper as a game. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to hit the like button, share this video with your friends if you found the information helpful, and as always, thanks for watching, guys. It really means a lot.